Hello everyone, and welcome to the Fictional Vortex. So we are back with an interesting movie on what if Naruto learns the Destroyer's blood justice. But before we start, I just want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you enjoy my content. Let's start the story. An 18-year-old Naruto, with bloody bandages covering his entire head except for his rusty, ragged blonde hair, and his satanic, inhumane-looking Sharingan in his left eye socket. His right eye would be missing, and stolen. It was covered in bandages along with the rest of his head except for his hair and most of his face. Naruto would have the crimson-like Akatsuki robes with a black hood over his blonde hair. It was shadowing his face, but in the moon's gloomy light, you could see his Sharingan glowing bright bloody red from inside the hood. Naruto stood upon a tall cliff, watching high over the sleeping village of Kumogakure. Today was October 9th. As the black-hooded Naruto watched the village as if a killer would watch his victim sleep at night, he knew what he was doing was right. Madara would say otherwise, so would Spiral Zetsu and Black Zetsu. But this was the only way to redeem himself, and get the proper vengeance on the ones that has betrayed him. In his injured, bandaged and bloody right hand was a wanted poster reading, Uzumaki Naruto, missing nin. Wanted in all nations, aka Menace to Society. Menace to Society, the unwanted nickname Naruto went under. Naruto remembered when things were different, before all of this mess happened, before the invasion, before the manslaughter, before pain, before the anti-Akatsuki, before his return, and before the masked man. Before he was strong, but when he was weak. Before he found true love, but when he met her. An 8-year-old Naruto strolled down the brightly lit street of Konohagakure, with his head facing the ground. His loneliness would only be shadowed by the gray amounts of hatred glares sent at him from passing by villagers. They wouldn't attack him like usual, since they were saving all of their hate for tomorrow, October 10th, Naruto's birthday, and the anniversary of the nine-tailed fox's attack, but seen by some as a holiday of revenge. Naruto used October 9th as a special day to get some fresh air before being hunted like an animal the following day. Naruto felt his stomach growl. He had some spare change on him, but just enough to purchase some food. He came upon a small shop that sold groceries and food. As Naruto was entering the shop, some struck the back of his head. Ah! Naruto howled in pain. Naruto held the back of his head to see that a small watermelon was thrown at him. He looked back to see an angered woman. "Don't you dare set foot in my mother's shop, you demon." Quote. The woman had brown hair and matching brown eyes. Naruto's eyes started to tear up as he viewed the shouted woman in horror, while hold the back of his head in pain. Then an old and frail woman came out of the store and saw Naruto on the floor outside of her store. Naruto looked back at her with teary eyes. She looked at him with a disgusted look. "Filthy mutt. Get away from my property," the old woman growled. Naruto then saw from the opened entrance inside of the store, that her customers would look at him with a matching glare. They viewed Naruto with disgust and hatred. But I'm hungry." "What did I say? Shoo! Go away," the old woman shouted. She then grasped a broom behind her and started to strike the small Naruto with it. "I said shoo," she repeated. Naruto picked himself up and dashed away. From behind him he heard cheering from the shop. Tears fell from his eyes as he fled. He then came upon another shop. He didn't want to enter due to fear, but his hunger took over his thoughts. Naruto crept into the shop and received glares instantly. He quickly grabbed some food that he could afford and set them on the cashier's counter. "That will be 40,000 ryo," the cashier said with a hint of a growl. 40,000 ryo. "But the price tag says that it's only a 100. Naruto said. "I don't see any price tag," the cashier said. From the corners of the shop, Naruto heard whispers. A boy spoke to his mother. "Is that the demon mommy?" "Don't look at him, dear," the mother replied. Naruto sighed and placed his head to the ground, as he made his way out of the store. Naruto only had two places to go where he wouldn't be bothered, the playground and his small depressing apartment. Naruto would then make his way to the playground, which was usually unused. As Naruto came upon the empty playground, he sighed to himself as he made his way to a swing set. He climbed upon the swing and struggled to push himself as he swung back and forth. A.P. Platinum blonde girl the same age as Naruto watched in confusion. until a pink-haired girl from behind her questioned, "Ino, what are you doing?" The blonde girl then turned quickly to her friend at the sound of her name. What? You stopped in place, and started looking off somewhere. The pink-haired girl with a red bow on top of her head said. Ino then bit her lip as she turned back to the lonely blonde boy from afar and replied. That boy, he's all alone. The pink-haired girl then looked in the direction Ino was, and spotted Naruto. My mommy said not to talk to him. She said that he's a demon. She spoke. But look at him, Sakura, Ino said with a slight plead voice. My mommy and daddy said if I ever find him, I should help him in any way possible. They say that he's treated very badly for something he never did. Are you going to treat him badly, Sakura? Just like all those bullies treated you because of your forehead. Sakura sighed in defeat. Fine. Just stop bringing tea up whenever I don't do something you wanna do. With that, a young Sakura and Ino made their way to the lonely blonde on the swing set. As they approached him, all Naruto would see was a pink-haired girl about his age with a skeptical face, and a platinum blonde girl along his age as well with a welcomed, warm face. Naruto looked up to the two with a frightened face. Oh no, it's not the 10th, is it? Naruto would gasp, as he backed up from the swing set. No, we don't want to treat you bad like everyone else. We just want to talk to you. Ino said, attempting to calm the matching blonde. Naruto wasn't buying it. He was about to speak in reply, but his words wouldn't make it out of his mouth. Naruto then burst into full speed away from the two girls. Ino called out quickly to the fleeing boy, Hey! Wait, man, what a weirdo. I told you this was a waste of time, Ino. Sakura spoke. Ino placed her head towards the ground in failure. I hope he's alright. It's not right for someone our ages to be out all alone. That's what my mommy and daddy said at least. I'm sure that's why we aren't allowed to leave this block. Ino spoke back to Sakura. I call it the Forbidden Zone, and it by the looks of it. He's running straight into it. No, Sakura interrupted Ino. What? Ino questioned, at her sudden tone. You're going to leave the block after him, for no reason. What? You like him or something? Sakura pouted. As for she was in no mood to get caught by her parents and into trouble. She would only get into more trouble by being caught with Naruto. I mean, he's kinda cute. Ino replied while biting her lip. Sakura sighed in disappointment at her best friend. I can't believe you. This is forbidden fruit, Ino. Forbidden. Naruto eventually stopped running and started to huff tiredly. I escaped. That's my first time. Naruto spoke out loud to himself, at his reached milestone. Naruto then looked around his environment, and saw nothing was familiar. But, where am I? An old man in a ramen booth questioned from Naruto's side. Hey, kid. He called out. Don't you think it's a little dangerous to be out here by yourself? Naruto turned to the man quickly. Naruto felt a social anxiety-like panic attack. Naruto backed up from the ramen booth. Kid, you alright? You're looking a bit pale. The man called out, but cruel wordplay that he heard so many times from the villagers. Naruto backed up into a large object. He turned to it, and saw a group of angry-looking villagers. You got a lot of nerve coming by here, demon. The buffed villager spoke. The villagers behind him nodded in agreement. As the muscular villager lifted his fist, Naruto gasped to himself, crap. Should have just got a beating from the girls. The fist came crashing down hard onto Naruto's head. The old man behind Tabar widened his eyes in shock. Hey, what are you doing? The old man roared, as he exited his shop. Stay out of this, Ichiraku. A villager spoke to the old man from the growing crowd. The muscular man then speared a knee, deep inside of Naruto's gut. Naruto groaned in pain as he slid back on the hard floor. The man then lifted a foot, the size of Naruto's head, and then stomped rapidly upon Naruto while the villagers behind him chuckled and nodded in approval of his attacks. Naruto didn't dare scream in pain and for help this time, as he would learn it would only make the villagers madder. Ichiraku growled viciously as he raced at the muscular man, to stop him from attacking the young boy. As Ichiraku leapt in front of the muscular villager, he stopped in place. The villagers behind him would only watch in suspense. Why are you doing this? Ichiraku questioned. Get out of the way, old man. The villager hissed at Ichiraku. But then the Agers from behind shared their stories and explained why they were doing this. That demon killed my mother. A villager shouted, with tears filling his face. He's the devil that killed my sister and brothers. A different villager said, he destroyed my business and sent me into bankruptcy. Another one said, the mob swarmed with reasons why they hated the beast inside of Naruto. Then the muscular villager explained his reason. A single tear free fallen from his eye as he spoke. He killed my 3-month-old daughter and wife. I've loved her ever since we were kids. It was love at first sight. He didn't feel the need to speak anymore, and in blind rage, smacked Ichiraku out of the way. Naruto picked himself up quickly, and held his wrist together in front of his face to block the attack coming from the angry man. The man's fist broke through Naruto's block attempt, and his fist came hard dead center of the face. Naruto fell back in the air, but he felt his leg being caught by the strong hand of the villager. I'm defenseless. I'm always defenseless. Useless. Naruto would think of the pain he has received over his lifetime. The memories of the vicious attacks and hospitals refusing to take care of him. Naruto shut his eyes with force as he felt the villager's knuckles came deep into Naruto's chin. Naruto then fell back to the hard ground, and looked up to the angry villag. He came in contact with so much in his life. The only sad thing is, that these angry mobs are the closest thing Naruto can consider family. As the villager charged at Naruto like a raging bull, he was halted suddenly by a little girl's voice, hey Boozo. Stop picking on him. How about you fight someone your own size? Naruto quickly turned his head to spot the same girl from before, but no sight of Sakura. Now you're going to feel the wrath of the Flower Maiden. This was the day someone other than the third Hokage would stand up for him, and hinting a friendship that could age forever. But somewhere else on October 9th, a battle would accord. The question if it was from the past, present, or future would lay unanswered. October 9th, Madara's hideout. Itachi with the same Akatsuki robes with a black hood on arrived in front of a boulder-up entrance deep in the woods, the doorstep of Madara Uchiha's hideout. Itachi placed his cold palms upon the boulder that would keep Itachi and anyone from entering. He struck out 2 fingers in a sword-like fashion and ran them hard into the boulder. The gigantic rock then cracked and spitted upon impact. It would slowly crumble apart, and Itachi saw the light from outside shine into the dark hideout. Itachi stepped inside slowly, and it was revealed to him that it was actually well lit inside of the hideout. Forward in front of him, he spotted the old Madara with ghostly white hair sitting in his throne-like chair, glaring at Itachi. Madara then spoke slowly, Itachi. Why are you here? Are you here to finish the job with the rest of the Uchihas? Itachi shook his head, not exactly. Itachi then paused for a moment. I want Obito. He ordered. I know of no Obito. A voice called out from behind Madara's throne. Then, a scared man showed himself from behind Madara's chair. I only know of Tobi. Is Obito not your name anymore? Itachi questioned. Obito is dead. There is only the masked man. Why do you come here and destroy the only thing keeping this place hidden? Obito would frown under his orange, one-eyed mask. It had a black flame design. Itachi glared at Obito. I think you know why I'm here. Obito softly chuckled under his breath. You still care for Konohagakure. The Nine-Tails attack was strictly business, you know that, Itachi. You've killed half of the population, and left an unwanted burden on a little boy. Itachi explained. The boy is the true threat. You should be worried about him, Obito said. I am sorry, Obito, but you are the true treat. You must not live another day. Itachi said calmly. Obito would not respond. He stood there, glaring into the Sharingan eyes of Itachi. Obito then jet-rocketed at Itachi with intense-like speed. Itachi's eyes then quickly crossed into a Mangekyo Sharingan, as he yelled, Tsukuyomi. Trying to end it quick, huh? Obito thought at the sound of the Genjustu's name. Tsukuyomi is the ultimate Genjustu, used by Itachi as torture that seems like many days but only lasts seconds. Obito witnessed as his vision turned black and white. The sky from out the broken entrance was pitch red like blood. Itachi knew he had him, as he reached out his hand towards Obito. His hand passed straight through Obito. Itachi's eyes widened at this, and then his Genjustu sudden dropped and deactivate. Itachi felt like he was spawned into the world, as he was dropped. D from the Tsukuyomi right in front of Obito. Wah, Itachi was questioning. Maybe we should take a step outside, I wouldn't want to injure Madara. Obito would say. Itachi growled as he slammed his foot at light speed towards Obito's head, but was caught with much ease. Obito only fell into a trap. Before Obito's eyes, Itachi dispersed into black crows. The crows would swarm and completely blacken Obito's sight, from behind. Obito could hear Itachi slapping his hands together for a just you, fire release, great fire annihilation. Suddenly, a massive sea of roaring flames consumed Obito and the crows. The intense light from it chased away every bit of darkness in the hideout and revealed Madara watching from a safe position as Itachi's flame then carried Obito hard into the hideout's wall. As it came in contact with the wall, a huge flaming explosion emerged from the wall and a dust cloud would hide the impact. After this, the fire quickly died out and darkness engulfed the hideout even quicker. Itachi sensed danger from behind him immediately. Itachi turned around quickly to White Zetsu. His fly traps weren't fully developed yet, they were just small white horns coming from around his shoulders. Itachi, this is a bad mistake. Itachi ignored his warning and speared his fist right through Zetsu's chest almost at the speed of light, an attack Zetsu couldn't dodge even if he wanted to. You should leave, Zetsu. This isn't between me and you. Should have said that before you sent your arm through my chest, but when I leave, what do I do about the others? Zetsu chuckled slowly. Itachi raised an eyebrow and then noticed at least 20 Zetsus from behind the impaled one out of the darkness. Itachi growled as he removed his arm from Zetsu and charged at the 20 Zetsus. Madara watched as Itachi go to town on his first draft of clones. Madara said bitterly to himself. Quote, Obito then jet-rocketed from the pinned wall and at Itachi. But a freak accident would cause a sudden change of plans. Obito felt his heart throb intensely. His Sharingan would begin to bleed and fade. He felt something would crawl out of his mouth. He was forced to remove his mask as a hairy crow with an Sharingan emerged from his mouth, not allowing him to let out a painful scream. The crow then opened its beak wide and let out a screeching scream. A 13-year-old Naruto eyes shot open from the horrific dream, or memory. The memory of him being vexed by every passing villager, and the fear deep in his stomach, and then a second memory, of a masked man and another man with red clouds on his robes fighting in a concealed hideout. Naruto with a white t-shirt and boxers sat up in his bed. Naruto looked at the clock to see that it was 4 in the morning. Around Naruto would be his newly found team, ultimately named Team 7. The team would contain Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, and Naruto. They were sent on a special B-rank mission. They would camp out deep in Kumogakure's forest. NEA. RBY would be a camp containing an escaped convict from Blood Prison. Only a month after they battled the blood-shredding, demon-like Zabuza and his human weapon Haku, Naruto and his team would be sent out on the mission only days ago. He could remember the warm good luck he received from his platinum-blonde best friend, Ino Yamanaka. A bear hug, followed with a kiss on a cheek that would keep Naruto from fully falling asleep. He didn't know why it bothered him so much, but he didn't like it. As Naruto sat up, he saw that the rest of his team except Sasuke was awake as well. Why are you guys up? Naruto yawned. We're trying to think of a plan. Sakura responded. Kakashi nodded. We've figured out a way to enter the camp, but defeating our target would be a problem. The understanding of the mission was simple. Killing their target, although the mission itself was hard the part. The mission was to find a convict and eliminate him, but if they somehow managed to capture him, bonus points. Team 7 asked no questions of why they had to eliminate a escapee and just went with it. Naruto rubbed his eyes and picked himself up. Kakashi and Sakura made a fire, and in front of the fire look like their plan drawn in the dirt with a stick, and 4 logs surrounding the fire. Naruto tiredly made his way to a log and seated himself. Maybe I can help. Naruto was surprised to see that his team treated him with respect. And not like the troublemaking child he is. I don't know about that, Naruto. You're not exactly the game planner. Sakura spoke. The 3 then saw the fire begin to die out. The orange color hovering over the 3 would flicker like a light switch being turned off and on. I better get some more wood, Kakashi said. With that, Kakashi picked himself off of the log and went into the woods to gather more tree branches. Sakura then gave Naruto a look. Naruto noticed this. What? Naruto questioned. What's going on with you and Ino? Sakura questioned. Are you seriously trying to gossip? We're on a mission, Sakura. Naruto has been hassled by Sakura for a few weeks now. Come on, you know you like her. Sakura giggled softly. Naruto took a second, and then spoke. I don't know. Maybe. I knew it. Maybe you and Ino, and Sasuke and I can go on a double date. Sakura said with passion. Whoa, you're not even dating Sasuke, he's not even interested in you. And it's the same thing with me and Ino. Naruto said. Before Sakura could reply, a loud boom rippled through the forest from where Kakashi left off too, interrupting Sakura. The sound awakened Sasuke quickly. Naruto and Sakura shot up quick as they looked down the forest with suspense. Smoke emerged into the sky. What was that? Sakura questioned. Naruto frowned to himself, and recklessly dashed into the forest by himself. Sakura called out his name, but it was left unheard by Naruto. As he passed through the bushes and tree branches, he started to smell smoke, which would indicate that he was getting closer. Naruto then came upon a wide area, filled with decapitated trees. The area looked like it was cleared on purpose for fighting space. He then came to see their target, standing alone in the middle of the area. He has not spotted Naruto yet. His target had an orange mask with one eye hole, and black flame design covering half of the mask. He wore strange white robes with red clouds printed on it. He had his white hood over his spiky raven hair. Underneath him would be Naruto's sensei, defeated. Naruto then slowly questioned to himself, what happened? Flashback Kakashi. Kakashi heard the crackling snap from where he broke off tree branches, as he placed a stack in his arms. Kakashi sighed to himself at the sincere thought of Naruto. Kakashi didn't expect his team to be so kind with Naruto. Since 90% of the village's children were taught to despise and hate Naruto. Kakashi suspected that Sasuke and Sakura were planning something cruel for the blonde. It was a messy idea, but in this world, anyone could be just that evil. Kakashi then saw before his eyes a bush in front of him rattle from unusual movement. Kakashi quickly equipped a kunai in defense. He looked at the bush from where the sound came from, about to go searching for the source. Feeling it could just be an animal, he felt an unusual presence, almost like someone wants him to come to the bush. Kakashi felt tightly closed in. As for bushes and trees intensely crowded the area, making it difficult just for Kakashi to move. He began to think that if this is a trap it'd probably be best to eliminate the enemy now instead of heading back to camp and possibly leading the enemies there. Kakashi closed in on the bush, took a deep breath as he came closer to the bush. He couldn't take any chances. He was only meters from a dangerous camp filled with murderous criminals. As Kakashi came close to bush, he was halted by a sudden hand shooting out from the bush, and planting itself on Kakashi's face. Kakashi widened his one non-hidden eye in shock, as for the mask of his target emerged slowly from the bushes. The man's head rose from the bushes like something straight from a horror movie. Kakashi acted quick as sent his kunai straight at the target, planning to impale him in his heart. But the target stopped it quickly with ease. Kakashi, the target said slowly, I've waited so long for this day. The masked man then tightened his grip around Kakashi's face. Kakashi planted his foot on the mysterious man and pushed back, releasing himself from the target grasp. The masked man then led silently to himself as he stepped from the bushes, revealing his full appearance. White robes with red clouds on it, and bandaged but bloody hands. Kakashi's right hand then formed into blue lightning. The blue color would hover over the orange mask of the target. With his other hand he lifted the headband that covered his Sharingan. The masked man didn't even bother to flinch or get into a defensive stance. Kakashi was surprised considering he usually at least gets a reaction after revealing his other eye. Kakashi without second thought then lounged at the man while roaring, lighting blade. He aimed it directly at the masked man's heart area, looking to end him quick. To Kakashi's surprise, the lighting blade passed through the masked man's body as if he was a ghost and not really there at all. The masked man then sent a fist, rocketing deep into Kakashi's gut. The man then sent a quick kick dead center into Kakashi's face, sending him flying far into a surviving tree then collapsing to the floor. Kakashi, planning to retaliate, rose from the ground, and to his surprise, the masked man was right in front of him, as if he just teleported there somehow. Then the two men's eyes met, and at the moment, the victor had already been decided. But the man didn't let it end there, almost as if he had a personal grudge against Kakashi. To Kakashi it seems like every other enemy ninja does, considering his notorious status. The man raised his hand and the surrounding area engulfed in flame, followed by a loud boom. Flashback end. Naruto's eyes widened, and he froze. He felt like he could take him. But his wise gut told him otherwise. The masked man then turned to Naruto. Naruto saw his single unique red eye with a spiral-like icon in the middle. But just looking into his eyes made Naruto feel dead inside. Blood began to flow down his right eye, and Naruto placed his hand over his eye in pain. RGGH. What? He groaned and instinctively looked down to the mysterious man's feet. And there he saw his sensei defeated. Naruto, in a panic, grasped onto a kunai. With only sights on the target, Naruto leapt at him with killing intent. Naruto leapt at the masked man with his sharp kunai knife. With both hands wrapped around it, he pointed the kunai at the target with plans to impale him. As he viewed only half of the body of the target, he noticed that the target stood still, as if he was waiting for Naruto. Naruto then felt some push-up from his side. As Naruto looked to the source, he saw that Sasuke was tackling him from midair. His raven-haired rival, the only person Naruto would thrive to be better than. Sasuke caught Naruto in midair, in front of the mysterious masked man. Sasuke landed on his feet as Naruto dragged against the hard floor on his side. Naruto then quickly gave Sasuke an angered and confused look. "What are you doing?" Naruto spoke. He then quickly looked over to where his target was. He was waiting patiently, looking like he had all the time in the world. The target was in no rush to murder off his pursuers. Sasuke sighed in disappointment at Naruto. "You didn't seriously think you could defeat him with a kunai, did you?" Naruto then looked at his kunai with offense. "Why does it matter?" Naruto questioned. "This man is someone you must take cautious of. One mistake and he'll kill you before you even realize it." Sasuke spoke. Sasuke then looked over to the target, avoiding eye contact with him, as if he already knew the drill. Sasuke was making sure the target wasn't taking a good opportunity to kill them as Sasuke and Naruto talked amongst each other. "How do you know about the eye thing?" Naruto asked Sasuke. Sasuke gave Naruto a look. "Not important." He answered. "Just get up. We're going to have to take him out together somehow." Naruto quickly picked himself up. "Where's Sakura?" Naruto questioned. "I don't know." Sasuke replied. He had a pale expression hinted on his face. "You left her?" cried out Naruto, with widened eyes. Sasuke nodded. "Just dead weight. We don't need any distractions or a damsel in distress while fighting this guy." Naruto raised an eyebrow at Sasuke. "You seem like you know a lot about this guy." Sasuke bit his lip in stress. "I did some research and investigations. Just avoid using follow-up attacks, and getting close. Stay close to me and use justus as much as possible. You say that clone technique of yours for close-up attacks." Naruto nodded, and cracked his fist as he gave the target's lower half-body a determined smirk. "All right, we're going to destroy this guy. Datbeo." The two then heard the masked man chuckle to himself. "Are you two finally ready to battle?" Without responding, Sasuke quickly dashed towards the target. He ran in a zigzag manner as he sprinted with great speed. The masked man kept his eye on Sasuke as another boy-sized shadow hovered above him. Naruto from above the target slapped his hands together. "Multi-shadow clone Justu." He roared. 10 clones appeared in a smoke cloud beside him. The 10 clones came raining down upon the masked man, sending a riot of attacks. None laid a finger on the target, as for the man without lifting a finger, dispersed and defeated the clones. "Wah?" Naruto questioned in confusion, as his clones died off in a snap of a finger. Sasuke then slapped his hands together, while shouting, "Fire release, fireball Justu." A cannon of flames leapt out of Sasuke's mouth. The flames charged at the man like a raging bull. Sasuke witnessed in horror as his flames literally passed through the masked man. The cannon passed through his body and ran impact into a tree behind him, causing a flaming explosive reaction. Sasuke then came to a horrific realization that if both of their main justus couldn't scratch the target, how could they defeat him? How? Who are you? Sasuke questioned, with lost in all hope. I guess I have no need to hide my identity any longer, since you both are going to suffer a horrific death. My only shame is that you won't be able to get a good look at your murderer's face. My name is Tobi. Tobi spoke. Naruto landed from above behind Tobi as he was introducing himself. Naruto growled to himself as he threw a sucker punch to the back of Toba's head. Naruto's fist passed right through the back of his head and came out from the front. Naruto gasped to himself as he fell through Toba's body and landed face first on the ground. Tobi then looked at Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. The Nine Tails, maybe one day you will be effective enough to join the anti-Akatsuki. I shall spare you. Naruto groaned as he turned himself to his back, looking down at Tobi, still avoiding eye contact with him. But instead, he saw Sakura in the bushes behind Tobi, about to sneak up on him. Naruto witnessed as Sakura exited the bushes came up on Tobi with a kunai in her hands. Sakura no. Naruto shouted loudly. Sakura then leapt at Tobi with a kunai, planning to run her kunai into the back of Toba's head. Naruto's shout barely affected Tobi, as he stood still as if he knew Sakura was there the entire time. Sasuke widened his eyes as he witnessed Sakura lounge at Tobi from behind. She was immediately halted as Tobi made a quick 360 turn, and speared his arm straight through Sakura's belly like a sword. Naruto felt the world stop spinning, as he watched his teammate cold-heartedly impaled before his eyes. Everything paused and his skin felt cold like a winter dam. Drops of blood from Sakura dropped upon Naruto's face. Naruto then felt an unpleasant knot in his stomach, as if a snake was moving through it. Naruto's eyes then turned bloody red in rage, his teeth sharpened and tiny claws emerged from his fingertips. Red chakra shot up from around him as he roared in blind rage at the loss of not only a close friend and teammate, but the best friend of the person Naruto cares the most about. Sakura was probably the only person on his team that treated him like a friend, instead of a partner. Naruto didn't care about the possibility that she was setting him up for something cruel, but it felt nice to have friends, especially considering his foul childhood. AAAAAAARRRRRRGGGGHH. Naruto roared as the beast inside of him take over. His chakra started to get bubbly like boiling water. Tobi was pushed back a few feet with Sakura hanging by his arm. He watched as Naruto was hidden by the dark red boiling chakra. So this is the power of the Nine Tails. Sasuke started to walk backwards away from Naruto and Tobi, as if it was crime scene. What's this? He questioned himself. Tobi watched as Naruto huffed and looked down to his clawed hands. Two tails made from red chakra formed from behind him, and two tiny matching horns made from red chakra emerged from his head. Naruto himself was still visible, as light red chakra surrounded him. Naruto was forced to move on his two arms and legs like an animal, or a fox in his consideration. He crouched high, back down whenever standing on his 2 feet. Tobi then disrespectfully dropped Sakura's body to the ground, and glared at Naruto, daring him to look into his eye. Naruto, with no sense of control, glared back to Tobi's eyes. Tobi watched as blood dripped down Naruto's eyes, but then the blood evaporated from the Nine Tails chakra. Tobi then silently said to himself, "Shit." Naruto with intense speed held out his arm to Tobi. His arm then expanded into a longer arm made completely from chakra. The chakra arm shot right at Tobi like a rocket, but passed right through Tobi, and he retaliated as he slapped his hands together. Release. Blast wave wild dance. Fire expelled from outside of Tobi's mask. It was a continuous stream of flames, into a massive vortex. Naruto without thinking dashed like a fox into the vortex, charging at Tobi. Tobi witnessed as his flames absorbed and surrounded the now three-tailed Naruto. Tobi would smirk at how foolish the blind rage of Naruto would be. From Tobi's eyes, all he would see was a swarm of flames in front of him, hiding his sights of Naruto. All Tobi heard was silence except for the crackling sound of the flames, but from the flames, the claw hand of Naruto snapped out at him and grasped his mask tightly. It was like a jump scare straight out of a horror movie. Naruto's whole red body lounged out of the flames from in front of Tobi and tightened his grip on Tobi's mask. Naruto's hand then began to move through Toba's head, the same move he's used before. Toby then shot out his hand and grasped tightly on Naruto's chest. Toby then slammed Naruto into the ground as his flames disappeared. Toby quickly held up his other hand and shouted, "Explosion release, ground devastation." Toby slammed his hand to the ground right next to Naruto's head. Shortly after, the ground below Toba's hand exploded into bright blue flames. The explosion was huge, as the sound ripped through the forest. Sasuke's eyes widened as his body was forced back by the explosive radius. Every one of Sasuke's senses went dead or numb for 5 minutes. As Sasuke opened his eyes, he found half of his body buried in dirt. The area was caved, and the whole place was wiped of trees and any lifelike. The ground was smooth and straight as the explosion destroyed everything in its way. Toby saw as Naruto began to deform from right below Toby. Toby released his grip and backed away. Naruto roared in rage as his body formed darkened red. It hid Naruto and replaced him with a mini red beast. One more tails formed from his back, making it 4 tails. His horns turned into a furry-like fox ears. Its eyes turned ghostly white, and whenever its mouth opened, it would be matching white. Naruto was no more himself, but let the 9 tails take the best of him. The mini demon glared into Toba's Sharingan eyes. Toby glared back. The beast then stretched out his arm, and rocketed at Toby. The attack was intensely fast, as it speared Toby deep in the gut. Toby was surprised to actually be caught off guard by an attack, let alone be hit with it. Sasuke from afar noticed this strange error from Toby and began to theorize what caused this. Toby was sent flying back. ND bounced off and on the ground like a bouncy ball. He then caught himself and roared, "Fire release, great fire devastation." A tsunami of flames shot from outside of Toba's mask. The beast turned and dashed quickly the opposite way. The flames and the beast passed Sasuke and the injured Sakura and Kakashi, who were far enough away to not get caught up in it. The beast ran deep into the forest that would surround the cleared area. Due to Toba's explosive clearing, the beast dashed through the crowded trees, but behind it was the flames decapitating the trees and everything behind it. From above was Toby, rising high in the air using his flight technique. Toby grasped onto something in a pouch on his side. He pulled out white clay he has gotten from a blonde friend of his. The clay in his hand grew and deformed. Toby was transferring chakra inside of it. Uzumaki, get prepared for an atomic bomb. Toby then released the clay from his grip and watched as it fell upon the forest. From deep inside of the forest, he witnessed an explosive reaction about the same to an atomic bomb. The beast was unable to outrun it, as the bomb ate away the flames and the beast. Toby saw no sight of the beast and slapped his hands together. His eyes turned into the spiraling purple Rinnegan, animal path. Toby placed his hands together while falling back, would release secret technique, nativity of a world of trees. Big branches shot from the ground, and lashed at the hissing demon. The demon juked to the left in an attempt to dodge the attack, but then another one came from the ground and tackled the demon. More branches wrapped around the beast and choked and strangled the demon. They formed into a spiral, and only left the demon's head as it wrapped around its body. Slowly, a skull formed above the head of the beast. The beast roared a sound that was hard to listen to. Then 4 tails came out. The wood like acid, and then 2 more tail formed. 6 tails. Toby questioned himself. The wood around him then cracked and exploded, releasing the beast. There was a beast with its skeleton raising above and hovering over it. A big purple and black ball of energy formed in front of the demon's mouth. Before Toby could do anything, the ball shot out at him. A giant wall of strong wood from the ground in front of Toby shot up to block the attack, but it was a failure. It tackled the wood and the impact hit Toby from the back of the wood. Toby fell back and dragged against the hard earth. A part of Toba's clothing were torn and his mask was cracked and half of it fell off. There it revealed bloody bandages around his head, and his glowing red eye. "I didn't want to do this. You could have been of use in the future, but you've left me no choice." Toby slowly laced his hands together and said quietly, "Serial killer release, destroyer's blood." 2 minutes earlier, as the 2-tailed Naruto fought the masked man, Sasuke quickly made his way to the injured Kakashi, who lay far away from the battle. his clothes was torn and damaged. Kakashi-sensei, are you alright? Sasuke asked. Kakashi looked at Sasuke, and said weakly, I'll survive. How is Naruto and Sakura? Sasuke looked over to the grounded Sakura. I don't think Sakura is gonna make it. Sasuke answered. Don't worry about me. Go and help Sakura, Kakashi exclaimed. Sasuke then made his way quickly to Sakura. Sasuke checked for a pulse. It was beating slowly. She's still alive. Wow, Sasuke said to himself. Sasuke then picked Sakura up and carried her to a safe position with Kakashi. As he placed Sakura next to Kakashi, he said to himself, she's breathing, but if we don't get her medical attention soon, she won't be anymore. Sasuke then looked over to the battle. Hurry Naruto. As Tobi finished stating his justice, he paused, as if he was waiting for something to happen. The demon that is Naruto tilted its head in confusion. Tobi looked to his hands with confusion. What the hell? Why didn't it work? Serial killer release. Destroyer's blood. He repeated. But nothing happened. What? Why isn't it working? Tobi then took a second and finally realized the error. Damn it Madara. You damn traitor. Tobi then saw the demon take small steps towards him. One more tail emerged from behind him, making it 7 tails. The demon's skeleton sank into it, and then skeleton glowed from inside. The beast then began to resemble an animal more. The head was the shape of a fox. The battle was intense from the outside, but from the inside, Naruto would be face to face with the beast itself. Naruto opened his eyes. He looked around the dark, gloomy area. He stood on dark, swamp green water, and in front of him was a cell with a seal upon it. Inside the cell was the 9-tailed demon. WW, where am I? Who are you? Naruto questioned, as he viewed the beast in horror. The beast huffed, I am the great 9-tailed demon and you are in my prison. You've let your rage get the best of you. Minutes from now, your cursive seal will peel off. The 9 tails chuckled. Naruto looked over to the poster halfway peeled, seal. Naruto questioned, oh you don't know, once that banner peels off, I'll be released and can extract my vengeance on your village, for locking me away in a human child. The 9 tails explained, what? No, you can't do that. Naruto cried out, why not? Is a small weak human like you going to stop me? The 9 tails chuckled. Naruto growled. He ran up to the banner and tried place it up back to the cage, but it would for here is no point kit, just accept death and let what happens. Happen. How do I get out of here? Naruto cried out in question. If I knew how to get out of here, would you think I would be here? Naruto then took a deep breath, so then, I'm trapped here. You should perish this moment, cause in a few minutes, you will be the animal in the cage. Tobi huffed. Its cannon of energy took a lot out of him. The demon took steps towards Tobi. Tobi's clothing on his right shoulder was torn or burnt off. The robes that almost touched the ground was torn as well. His mask was split halfway, as it revealed bloody bandages and his Sharingan from hell. I didn't want to do this. I guess I'll have to use the only version of the Destroyer's blood that I know. Tobi slapped his hands together. Arsonist release. Destroyer's blood. Sasuke looked back to the fight, as Tobi stated his release justu. The clouds turned pitch black and orange sparking lighting, followed by loud thunder shot from it. Lava sprouts shot out from the ground all around Tobi. From above, lava drops rained hard upon the area. Kakashi placed his hands together quick. With the little of breath he had he shouted, Earth release, ultra protective barrier. The cave shot up around and above the three, shielding them from the heavy lava rain. Sasuke's eyes widen at Kakashi. Kakashi. Sasuke. I don't know if we'll be able to save Naruto. It would have to be. Kakashi then coughed, you. But you won't survive once you do, or we can escape from underground. Kakashi said slowly, your choice Sasuke. Before Sasuke could say anything, Sakura spoke the hole in her gut, leave him. She said softly, Wa. Sasuke spoke, surprised she was still alive. Leave him. Sakura shouted, until coughing up blood. Sasuke took a second and then nodded to Kakashi, get us out of here. Are you sure? Kakashi spoke. Yes Kakashi-sensei, go. Sasuke spoke. Kakashi then slowly placed his hands together, summoning, Earth release, digging fang technique. Quote, 5 Ninken then appeared beside him. They found themselves in a dark, small igloo made of the earth. You know what to do. Kakashi spoke. The dogs nodded. S3 of the 5 ate away the hard ground below. They were like drill as their process was fast and with just enough space to fit a man. One of the remaining dogs then looked up to Sasuke. Okay kid. You're going to have to follow my directions with perfection. You're going to help us carry Master and the pink-haired girl down this hole. Sasuke nodded. He went over to Sakura but then the dog spoke. Master first. But, she has a hole in her belly. Sasuke said. It's not that big, she'll be alright. Master first. A different dog spoke. Guys, let the girl go first. Kakashi ordered slowly. The dogs nodded and then lifted Sakura down to the hole without Sasuke's assistance. Below seemed to be the awaiting digging dogs to help lay Sakura down. Sasuke sighed as the dogs lifted Kakashi to the hole. Sasuke then climbed down the hole last. Below, Sasuke would widen his eyes. He saw that the dogs created a huge area for walking space underground that should have led straight to Konohagakure. But it pulled have been a long walk. Sasuke bent down and lifted Sakura over his shoulders as Kakashi was carried by his dogs. They then made their way back to the village. Heavy rain made of lava swarmed the area. As lava sprouts shot straight into the sky, Toby was barely affected by the lava, and the lava evaporated upon contact with the demon. Toby lifted his mask as bloody red color of flames shot out. The color was almost like a red mist color, and was literally the temperature of the sun itself. Once the beam came in contact with the demon, every one of its senses went pitch black. Naruto from inside of the prison was immediately thrown from it and felt like he was falling in a pitch black abyss, and then felt nothing. Was he dead? Did Kami finally decided to take him out? From the outside, Toby has ended his unique fire jutsu. The sun shined as the dark clouds cleared. Toby walked up to a grounded Naruto with disappointment. Naruto's shirt and parts of his pants were burnt off. His left arm was black and hard like overcooked food. It had cracks all over it that were hissing bright orange from the fire. Humph, I thought you would have last longer than that. Thanks to you, Kakashi has escaped, Toby said. But expected no response. Toby then noticed Naruto's arm. If he ever survives this, there's not even a second thought that he could ever fight again. I will steal the 9 tails for my own after this. There is no time to extract it now, I need the special material. With that, a vortex from Toba's eyes spun and in a snap of a finger, he disappeared. Leaving the dying Naruto, who was on his back with his arms laid out, laying on the hot, boiling ground. His headband would have been burnt off and missing. And his corpse steamed white smoke. How could a simple mission turn so bad so quick? Naruto's rehabilitation. 2 weeks later. Naruto opened his diamond blue eyes. He was in a dark, gloomy, and depressing area, an area that he's seen in his dreams so much before. It would best be named Madara's hideout. Naruto was in a big bed, in the middle of the gloomy place. There were no rooms, no windows, and no decorations to make the place look more home-like. Naruto groaned as he sat up. To the side of his bed was an old man. He had long spiky, ghostly white hair. His face was wrinkled and sorrowful. He had a crimson Sharingan in one of his eye sockets. In his hands was a giant sharp scythe in his hands. Upon viewing him, Naruto could have sworn he was the Grim Reaper. Ah, are you Shinigami, death? Am I dead? Oh please no. Please don't take me Mr. Shinigami. I still have so much to do in life. Naruto panicked. The old man looked at Naruto with a constant cold, stale expression that never changed. You are not dead, but you should be. I have saved your life. My life? Naruto questioned. Naruto then looked over to his left arm, and noticed bandages covering his entire left side of his upper body. He didn't feel his arm. And couldn't tell if he even had one due to it completely covering it. Why is this here? Your arm and the left side of your body have suffered intense third-degree burn. The burn was crumbling away. Your arm and would have extended to your body and heart if I didn't stop it. So I cut it off. The old man spoke. What? Why you cut off my arm? Naruto cried out. It is being replaced with a SPECIAL artificial substance I created myself. The old man said. Naruto then took and dragged his palm softly against the bandaged area of his body. Oh, Well, thanks, Gramps. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Who are you anyways? My name is Madara Uchiha. And you can repay me, but you are of no use to me in your current status. You must rest. I will have you asleep for a few weeks for your artificial to kick in. Madara said. You will then meet 2 artificial humans I created using the same thing your arm is going to be made of. They will take care of you, do not fear them. Quote, but won't I die without something to eat or drink? Naruto questioned. Madara shook his head, you are now part artificial now. Artificial species never need to eat or drink. Now rest, your arm can only fully develop once you're asleep. Madara then walked away, and Naruto relaxed and sat back in the bed. Then, without being able to put thought in what just happened, his eyes closed. 3 weeks later, Naruto opened his blue eyes to the ceiling of the dark, gloomy hideout. He had more bandages than he did when he first awakened. He had a bandage around his forehead, and the strapped bandage rounding and hiding his right side of his upper body, covering where his arm was burnt. It was currently being replaced by a white artificial arm. In front of his rehabilitation's bed were Spiral Zetsu and White Zetsu. Hey there, Zetsu greeted, who hasn't developed his Venu self and sticking out the side of his body. How are you doing? Spiraling Zetsu asked, who is fully white and can be easel. Why distinguished by the spiral pattern that stretches all over ending in a circular eye hole. Naruto groaned as he sat up in his bed. Bad, what did you think? He sighed, how long have I been here? It seems like a while. Don't worry, you don't have to pay rent. Zetsu smirked. Naruto had a bored face on. Well, you two are some creepy-looking babysitters, Naruto said, focusing his attention and comment directly at Spiral Zetsu. Zetsu replied, oh, don't mind him. He's a good boy. Yay, those of us that have been created from the ghetto statue don't need to eat either. No food bills, no need for a bathroom. We don't even poo. Spiral Zetsu added, don't lump me in with you guys. I only have half of that white weird stuff on my body. Naruto said as he rubbed the bandaged right side of his upper body, which was currently being replaced as he spoke. And thanks to that, you can survive without eating or drinking. Zetsu said, as a matter of fact, you should be thanking us. Next to Zetsu, Spiral Zetsu nodded his head in agreement with Zetsu. And for good grief, we're the ones who don't want to be lumped in with you. You have synced emotions, we're artificial humans, we got feelings and everything. Spiral Zetsu said as he rudely pointed his finger at Naruto. Humph, well you both are, artificially, making me sick to my stomachs, Naruto replied. He was pleased with his comeback. Your sense of humor may be better than ours. But what we have is much better. Our vocabulary skills and mental acuity are far better than yours in every way. Spiral Zetsu cheered. Except we don't poo. Shut up, Naruto shouted until sighing. Alright, how is it that you're better than me? Naruto questioned, while scratching his head in boredom. The two then looked at each other before speaking simultaneously. Because we are the ones in charge of watching you, they said with an almost proud voice. Stop talking in sync. That pisses me off, Naruto cried out while raising his one available arm in anger. We're only helping you with your rehab. Madara ordered us to get you up and running by the time he wakes up. Zetsu spoke. Humph, so the old man had his noisy puppets to keep an eye on me. While he gets to sleep all day? Naruto questioned while looking at the old Madara in his throne-like chair. Zetsu nodded. Yes, but he won't be like this forever, in due time. His plan for the ninja nations will have everyone at his control. Plan? Naruto asked. Yep, the only reason he saved you. 'Cause you're the key to his plan. Spiral Zetsu explained. Gee, that makes me feel a whole lot better. Well, let's hear it. What's this big ol' plan Gramps got in store? Naruto sighed. Zetsu then explained the Infinite Moon plan to Naruto, the plan in which he gathers a LL of the tailed beast and release the 10 tails. Naruto, not knowing about other beasts, and the existence of the 10 tails, was surprised upon the news. Using the 10 tails, Madara will then use its special one-of-a-kind eye to use infinite genjutsu on the world. But Naruto's reaction would surprise Zetsu and Spiral Zetsu. What a stupid plan. Sounds ridiculous and over the top to me. Naruto said. Zetsu spoke. When you have as much power as Madara, nothing is unachievable. Naruto raised an eyebrow while looking over to Madara on his lonely throne. Doesn't look like someone with a lot of power. Don't underestimate Madara, Tobi. He's very powerful. Spiral Zetsu explained. Tobi. My name isn't Tobi. Naruto corrected Spiral Zetsu. Naruto remembered the name from the masked man, but just thought it was coincidence. So he shrugged off the idea. I like Tobi. Spiral Zetsu spoke. I would have to agree as well. Tobi seems like a fitting name. Zetsu added. It's better than Stupid Sasuke. What kind of name is that? Is his first name Stupid and last name Sasuke or something? Who's Stupid Sasuke? Spiraling Zetsu asked. Beats me. Ask him. He was muttering a lot of stuff in his sleep, I mean a lot. Naruto. Do you know that you talk in your sleep? Zetsu commented. Spiral Zetsu shook his head in disappointment. Stupid brother, people don't know when they talk in their sleep. Maybe we should ask this guy. Stupid Sasuke. He seemed like a wise person. Naruto looked at the two with eyes that said, you two are idiots. He couldn't believe he was actually dealing with these two. His first opinion on the two was that it seemed Spiral Zetsu was a fool and Zetsu was more of a serious type. I'm going to find Sakura, Sasuke and Kakashi-sensei, no matter what. He thought with determination. And most importantly, Ino. Naruto sighed to himself before asking, where's the exit? There is no exit. Madara sealed off this place with a giant boulder. Zetsu answered. Naruto wouldn't give up. He looked at where the giant entrance would be, but was blocked off. He crawled to the end of the bed. The two watched the injured blonde in suspense, until Zetsu asked, what are you doing? I'm going to get stronger and get out of here, Naruto responded with determination. Impossible. Your body isn't ready yet, Zetsu said. Naruto without replying placed his feet on the floor, and began walking slowly to where the boulder-blocked entrance was with struggle. He limped towards the boulder, and every step pained him, the boulder seemed miles away. But then he finally reached his destination. Once Naruto reached it, Zetsu and Spiral Zetsu cheered in celebration. Yai! Spiral Zetsu chanted. Naruto turned to them with a wide, goofy grin, and shot up a thumbs up to them. Ha! Ha! I'll be out of here in no time. Datbeo! He huffed. Madara watched from afar. He then spoke to himself quietly. You're an interesting youth, Naruto Uzumaki. A 21-year-old Naruto laid on the soft grass. Blood was emerging from his wound on his right kidney area. Naruto was dying. He could feel his body get colder and his eyes get heavier. Next to his body was a poison kunai that struck him and caused the bloody wound. Naruto was taking deep breaths, as he saw smoke emerge to the sky, due to a fire. From the corner of his eyes, Naruto saw Black Zetsu, instead of White Zetsu and Spiral Zetsu, who was now close friends with Naruto. Black Zetsu chuckled, as he had a full body instead of being the half of Zetsu. The all-and-mighty menace to society has been defeated by a kunai. The legend and Robin Hood to millions and inspiration to criminal gets killed by a tiny kunai. Black Zetsu's mouth stayed shut as he spoke, as the voice of his conscience came from his aura. I thought you were better than that. I guess blood prison didn't strengthen you but instead make you weak. Naruto couldn't speak. As for blood filled his mouth. I should put you out of your misery. But you don't deserve a mercy killing. People like you deserve deaths like these. I'll wait till you're dead when I cut your head off. Black Zetsu was saying as Naruto's eyes closed. Black K Zetsu was referencing to Kumogakure paying a lot of Ryo for his head, literally his head. Naruto then awakened from his nightmare. He huffed uncontrollably as sweat dripped down his face. He awakened in the middle of the night. Naruto sat on the edge of the bed in a bored manner. Madara would be in front of him, about to speak. Only 3 days after he managed his way to the boulder on his own. He lost power and went unconscious on the spot. Today you will begin training. Madara spoke. Training? For what? And did you forget I went unconscious after taking only 6 steps 3 days ago? Naruto cried out. You said you didn't know how to repay me. This is how you repay me. Madara said with a dull expression. Naruto raised an eyebrow. I'm going to repay you by letting you train me. Spiral Zetsu then emerged his head from the wall behind Madara. It's a little more complicated than that. but basically, he needs you strong so you can repay him. He explained. I think you will approve of make you so strong that you won't have to lift a finger to defeat stupid Sasuke. Naruto wasn't the one to turn down opportunities like these. How long will this take? I got to get back to my team. They probably think I'm dead by now. Your team left you, Madara replied. What? Naruto questioned. Zetsu came up from the shadows from behind Naruto. Your team abandoned you, kid. We know why too, and I'm sure you do too. Naruto turned to Zetsu as he had a hint of a smirk on his face. No parents, and hated all throughout the village. If anything, we're the closest thing to family you got. Naruto clenched his teeth. He had a good idea why his team would abandon him. No, you're lying. You're just trying to keep me here. Come on, Naruto, you're in denial. You're the demon, the beast, the most hated human being in Konohagakure. Is it that hard to believe someone would flee and leave you just to save their own lives? Zetsu said. How do you guys even know this? Naruto said. You're probably just making this all up. We have our ways. The masked man you were fighting, he was taught by us. Mainly Madara though, we were just assisting. Zetsu said. Yup, Obito went against us through, and is currently our enemies. Spiral Zetsu explained. Someone that strong was your protege. Naruto said while looking to Madara. He only got halfway through the training before betraying me. Madara said. You're in no position to turn down our offer. Naruto held his head down and sighed. He then looked up to Madara's old and stale, serious face. Okay, Gramps, I'll let you train me, but after all that, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Unless your comrades have forgotten about you. Madara spoke. Naruto questioned. My training will take years for you to fully reach up to my potential. Do you think they could miss the demon they left for dead? You'll be replaced on the team in a month. Madara said. Naruto growled silently to Madara. You'll see, Gramps, you're wrong. My training will lead up to you being able to use the destroyer's blood. Madara said. Destroyer's blood? Naruto questioned. He should know that that's the same Justu used to defeat him. But words would blur out of his thoughts once the Nine Tails takes over. The most powerful Justu, cages don't even know of its existence. I personally created it, and kept it locked away and from anyone's knowledge except for the people who I knew could use it for good purposes. Madara explained. Why would you keep it secret? Naruto questioned. It sounds like a Justu that could make anyone powerful. It makes everyone too powerful. It causes nothing but destruction, and creates wrath only a god should be able to make. Madara replied. Obito, or your target that escaped from blood prison, has defiled my rule. Now a child is out there using my Justu to cause fear and chaos. I didn't take Gramps as the kind of person that would be a good guy, considering his plan to deceive the world using the moon. Naruto thought. The more chakra you put into the Justu, the more destruction causes from it. It can wipe villages of the face of the earth and devours armies. Madara spoke as if he created a monster. How can I single man create something so chaotic? And why is he sharing this with a genin? I should ask him later. Now doesn't seem like question time. Naruto thought. But there is a risk. Madara said. A risk? Naruto spoke. Yes, the risk of immortality. Madara said. Naruto's eyes widened. Immortality. Madara nodded. It's not called destroyer's blood for nothing. It enters your blood. I call it an assigned Kekkei Genkai. I always wanted immortality, but it's nothing by torture. I heard of a Kekkei Genkai. Isn't that from genes though? Naruto questioned. That's where the assigned part comes in. There is only two ways of being able to use the destroyer's blood, to have the blood and chakra to handle it, and a certain eye. Madara said. Is it the Sharingan? I studied about it at the academy. It took Naruto a lot of strength to study in the first place. A certain Sharingan, a Sharingan that only lies upon two people in the world. Well, now three. Madara said. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Me and my decreased brother, and Obito has my one other, since you only need the one eye to pull it over. Madara spoke. Oh, so that's why you only have one other eye. And that's why Obito had only one eye covered. Naruto noticed his lacking and closed eye when Madara spoke to him on his rehab bed, although it was hard to spot, due to it being hidden by Madara's white hair. Madara nodded. I and my brother were the strongest of the Uchiha clan, but we wanted more power, so with our matching Sharingan, we created the special Sharingan that we named Chikara. Madara then took a second to continue. With the Chikara we both created the Destroyer's blood. I guess that answers one of my questions. Naruto thought. We SW. Or to never mention or use the Justu ever again, as for terrible things happened during our reign with it. But we didn't expect it to give us immortality. It also cured my eyes' blindness from an overused Sharingan, but apparently immortality doesn't stop death. As for my brother died at a young age, the reason I am informing you of this is because the eye needed to use Destroyer's blood lays in him in his burial. So, you mean, you want me to grave loot his eyes? Your own brother? Naruto questioned. Only one eye. He would approve. Madara spoke. No, I refuse. I'm not that desperate for power. Naruto shouted. Naruto would question how his brother died, but he didn't want to walk on thin ice with Madara. Zetsu then spoke. You don't have a choice, unless you want the nations to be forced into control by Obito. He can destroy village after village, and we have no idea when he's going to strike. Honestly, we even don't know why he hasn't yet. Just find someone else. Naruto spoke. Someone to train. We got lucky finding you. It's impossible to train anyone else. You have to be chosen. Not everyone can handle Madara's training. Zetsu spoke. We will not have to take my brother's eye for long time. You were unstable to use Destroyer's blood. Madara explained. Destroyer's blood is split into 5 releases. Like the elements right, earth, wind, fire, lighting and water. Naruto asked. Madara shook his head. No, the release of the most evil kinds of people on earth. Huh? Naruto questioned. Madara then explained. Each release has its own effect on the Destroyer's blood. Serial killer release, arsonist release, treason release, terrorist release, thievery release. Naruto raised an eyebrow. How do those even work? Spiral Zetsu then explained. Easy Toby, but just to sum it down. Serial killer release tortures and murders everyone in the area. Arsonist release makes lots of fire and lava stuff. Treason release turns everyone against each other, causing a bloody mess and you won't even have to lift a finger. Terrorist release makes everyone fear you so bad that they go crazy whenever you stand of 2 feet of them and kills themselves. Thievery relaya, say makes anything you want appear right by your side, but you had to have seen it before and know exactly where it is. I know it's pretty lame. Naruto sighed at Spiral Zetsu. Stop calling me Toby, will ya? Madara then spoke. But that is far from today. You must begin training now. What? Training? I fell unconscious 3 days from walking. Naruto cried out. That is why you will use Spiral Zetsu's body for fighting for now. Madara said. His body? Naruto questioned. Spiral Zetsu spiral unattached with a snapping sound, revealing nothing but air inside of Spiral Zetsu and then attached onto Naruto. Naruto was surprised at first, as the witty artificial human attached himself onto Naruto. The swirling one eye ended on his right eye. Naruto would fill up the nothing inside of Spiral Zetsu. Naruto now looked very similar to the masked man's mask, except his entire body was now in a swirling fashion like his mask. There wham his head that led to into Madara's hand, where he would transfer his chakra. Naruto was under Spiral Zetsu's skin, as his diamond blue eye showed from the hole on Naruto's right side of his face. Zetsu smirked as he viewed his brother attach onto Naruto. He then said, "You will be battling me." The masked man felt his heart beat hardly. He could hear his beating organs swarm to his ears. His whole body was throbbing along with his aching heart like a sing-along. The masked man gave Itachi one last look before quickly lifting his mask upwards in a painful panic. Out of the mouth of the now revealed masked man, emerged a screeching crow, screeching at the top of its tiny lounges. The crow fully left the mouth of the masked man and flew away quickly, passing by Itachi. Itachi walked up to the masked man, preparing to end him ultimately. As he arrived in front of the kneeling man, Itachi's eyes widened in shock. "And Naruto?" Itachi questioned. The unmasked man was revealed to be an early 20s Naruto with short ragged black hair, as if he was trying to steal the appearance of Obito himself. Naruto's pupils widened from the unsettling vision. Whoa. Naruto spoke puzzled, as he was under the outer layer of Spiral Zetsu. "What's wrong?" Spiral Zetsu questioned. Whose clay-like skin covered Naruto, using Naruto to fill up his empty inside? I just had the weirdest vision. It's like a series of them, all out of order. First SA dream of me back in the day and these two guys fighting, then me dying in like my late 20s, then me turning out to be the bad guy in my early 20s, Naruto explained. Naruto, Zetsu said with a sly expression. Naruto's attention shot right at Zetsu, and his eye through the single hole from inside Spiral Zetsu came upon his devilish smirk. Don't go off on me now, your training begins now, he informed. Naruto turned his view to his newly but temporarily artificial suit. He looked at his hands through the single-eyed hole inside of Spiral Zetsu. What does he do? Naruto questioned, referencing to Spiral Zetsu. Brother will enhance your overall abilities to the extreme. As long as he covers your body like a shield, you should be able to perform like an injury never happened. But of course, brother won't be there for you all the time, so until you reach Destroyer's Bloodworthy and gain your arm back, you will be using brother. Zetsu explained. Naruto nodded slowly under the clay skin of Spiral Zetsu. Well, can he at least make a second eye whole? I get that you taught Obito and all, and he had one eye and stuff, but can't he just morph a second eye whole? Don't act like I'm not here. And we don't morph. Do you humans morph? Spiral Zetsu said. No, Naruto answered. Then we don't morph. Spiral Zetsu cried out. Zetsu's smirk widened. Time's up. Zetsu leapt at Naruto and his fist aimed straight at him. Naruto had no time to prevent Zetsu from striking him, so he just shut his eyes closed and expected a crippling punch. To Naruto's surprise, nothing even touched him. He slowly opened his eyes to see a disappointed Zetsu. Try again. Zetsu sighed. Toby, I can't believe you. If this was a real fight against Obito, you would be dead. At least try. Spiral Zetsu cried out. Naruto heard Madara sigh from afar. I agree, you defiantly lost faster than I expected. Why is everybody bashing on me? Even the old man too. Naruto sighed to himself. Okay. You won't get that lucky next time. Clayman. Naruto called out to Zetsu with determination. Zetsu had a small hint of a smirk on his face. Okay then, let us begin. This would be the day Naruto begged, and his training under Madara and his witty assistances, a day that would go down in history throughout the nations, the birth of a legend. The birth of a force with rare blood, and a matter of power Hat can cripple nations at a time without lifting a finger. Can such a man exist? Can such a man use this power for good? Or let the power eat him away and turn him into something much darker? A man with no principles and respect for the living around him, instead only greed for chaos and destruction. To have everyone kneeling upon him, and wine cherished in gold for him. To be considered a god. A 16-year-old Naruto's eyes opened slowly. He lay in the soft bed he would sleep in if not on the hard ground of the hideout. In front of his former rehabilitation bed was Zetsu and Spiral Zetsu, looking cheerful as ever. Happy birthday. They cheered in sync. After that Zetsu blew into a party horn, waking Naruto up fully. Naruto viewed the two with confusion, but then the look turned into a grin. Heh, thanks guys. Naruto sat up in his bed, with a white wife beater and white and blue stripped boxers. Around Naruto were decorations that were retrieved by Naruto himself, since he's allowed to go out in town to get some food, even though he doesn't need them. Hanged and placed all over the hideout, suddenly making the gloomy hideout look like some sort of children's hospital. Naruto would admit to going a little bit overboard on the decorations, but he thought it was defiantly better than the previous look. Madara looked a bit objectionable at first, but he would get used to it. As long as Naruto's progress was on track. We got presents for you. Spiral Zetsu cheered. Spiral Zetsu handed him a wrapped box. It's from both of us. Zetsu added. Naruto unwrapped it and found a regular, non-special kunai inside. Naruto would look disappointed, but he could expect nothing more from the two. Gee, the same present you gave me last year, and the year before that, didn't you steal this for me 3 years ago? Not the point. The main point is, Madara has the best present for your sweet 16. Zetsu spoke. Madara, present. Didn't think he was the present-giving type, Naruto said. I am not. Madara explained while coming from behind Naruto. Naruto slightly flinched and turned to the ghostly white-haired Uchiha. Your present is going to be the eye. Naruto's eyes widened. The eye. Are you sure I'm ready? Madara nodded. Yes. You were ready for the destroyer's blood. Naruto longed for the day when he would get the uncharted eye ever since he noticed great improvement. The last few years were surely complicated, which was the main reason Naruto never returned to the village. He considered the wacky artificial humans and the serious, grumpy old man his only family, since they were the closet he ever had. But there was one thing that had Naruto pacing if he should stay here with Madara or go back to Konohagakure, Ino Yamanaka. Throughout the years, up to when Naruto went on the B-rank mission that supposedly ended his life, the two have been through a lot together, just enough to create a special bond. Naruto wanted to visit her more than anything. But Madara's words would change his mind on several occasions. Madara even changed Naruto's whole mindset of opinion on the village, as for he no longer wants to become a Hokage. Madara remined. Naruto of all the times the village left him out in the cold rain to sleep, let their children throw rocks at him, and beat him if he even dares to look at them. It created something inside of Naruto. Something that would match the silent-tailed demon inside. It was hatred. Naruto didn't have blazing hatred for the leaf, nothing that would cause him to destroy the entire village and murder thousands, but he defiantly disliked it. Once he gotten stronger, he didn't know what he was going to do. Maybe he'll return to the village just to show everyone they missed out. Well, let's get going, Naruto said with excitement. Naruto stepped out of bed in his boxers and white t-shirt. Under his bed was a dirty but usable orange t-shirt and blue cargo pants that he was preparing to place on. Naruto dressed quickly with a constant grin on his face. Over the years, Madara would explain the eye to him with great detail, increasing his need for power, increasing his craving to be unstoppable. There was that one thing that would cause Naruto to question Madara's logic. The red moon say clearer to Naruto over the last few years, but it didn't seem like something of Naruto's principles. Unfortunately, I am unable to escort you. So the spiral one will have to for me, Madara explained. Spiral Zetsu. Not Zetsu, Naruto questioned. He had a huge hint of doubt in his tone. Naruto noticed Madara raise a noticeable eyebrow. And Naruto raised a matching eyebrow in response. What's that supposed to mean? Spiral Zetsu questioned with a whine. Naruto turned to Spiral Zetsu with an awkward look on his face. Well, you're not exactly the serious mission type. Spiral Zetsu and Zetsu are different in many ways. Spiral Zetsu can escort you anywhere as for he has a geographic image of the entire world. Zetsu can get you out of most conflict, but this mission should require no combat. Madara explained, just as long you don't start a fight with any of the resigning villagers, but if it was to come to that, your training should most defiantly outdo them. Spiral Zetsu then spoke in a follow-up to Madara's words, well, let's get going. The faster we accomplish this, the faster we can return and celebrate. Naruto dragged out a long sigh. All right then, let's get going. Ino Yamanaka had just finished watering her plants. The fumes from the heated sun hovered over her smooth skin. Sweat bullets raced across it as well. A grin came across her face as she viewed her family's garden in the back of the flower shop and only source of money. Mom, I'm done, she howled to inside the house. Okay, thank you Ino. You are free for today, go out and enjoy yourself. Ino's mother shouted back. Ino then decided to take advantage of her free time. She removed her gardening apron to reveal her bright purple clothing. She made her way outside of the garden shop, and let out a relief sigh. From the side of her flower shop came Shikamaru with a chessboard in his arms. What's up Ino? Shikamaru asked. Ino turned to them with an angered look. Shikamaru noticed it almost instantly. What did I do? Why do you always assume you did something? Ino questioned with a frown. Shikamaru raised a questionable eyebrow. Well, did I? Of course you did, Ino shouted. You never showed up to the team meeting you idiot. Things have been normal to the Leaf Village since Naruto's departure. Naruto's funeral has yet to take place. It would have been sooner if it wasn't for the assassination of the third Hokage, which caused a worldwide manhunt for his killer, which was never identified. The Hokage's spot was then given to Danzo, who refused to give Naruto a funeral until his body was recovered, with hope to extract the 9 tails. Konohagakure ninjas searched for Naruto's corpse, but it was never found. Itachi Uchiha was also declared dead by Danzo, which made Sasuke regret not being the hands that destroyed him, but was good to know that the murderer of his clan has finally reached the end of his run. Naruto's position on Team 7 has been replaced by a pale and emotionless ninja named Sai. Sasuke and Sakura try their best not to think about Naruto, since they could be accounted for his death. Long after Naruto disappeared, the third Hokage before his death released the fact that the fourth Hokage was indeed Naruto's father. It shocked many, and made much regret the way they treated the offspring of the fourth. October 10th was then celebrated to honor Naruto and Minato each year, but was left as a memorial day for Ino. As of today, it was October 8th, before speaking to Shikamaru. Ino noticed villagers setting up decorations and preparing a festival. Team meeting. That's too troublesome to make. Why don't you relax? October 10th is near, you should be getting ready to celebrate. Shikamaru spoke. Ino had a shrug face on, and then replied, yeah sure, I guess you're right. Shikamaru nodded towards Ino and began to walk off before saying, see ya at the festival Ino. Naruto and Spiral Zetsu began their way outside of the hideout. Spiral Zetsu turned to Naruto and spoke, okay Naruto, I'm going to use my teleportation to move us to the burial of Madara's brother. This is going to feel a little weird. You mean that thing when you go through the ground and walls? Didn't know it could go that far. Naruto said, but okay, let's do it. As long as I can get the eye faster. Spiral Zetsu then placed both of his hands on Naruto's shoulders. Naruto then felt like the earth below him was consuming him. Naruto couldn't deny that it defiantly felt weird. His body sank into the ground, and before he knew it, he felt like he was falling into eternal darkness. His bones crumbled, and his skin felt dry. He would shout to make sure he was still alive. But the shock kept his mouth shut. Naruto shut his eyes away from the darkness, to expose himself to his own made darkness. He felt sick, and cold, as if he walked through a series of snowstorms. Then finally, it all went away. Naruto opened his eyes slowly to the feeling of hard rain drops crashing upon his head. His environment was crowded with tall trees, the atmosphere was filled with gloomy, ghostly white mist, and one road where Naruto stood upon along with Spiral Zetsu next to him. Whoa, where are we? Naruto questioned, as he took a good look around, only to see nothing but trees and mist in the single road. The burial should but up the road. Come on now, this is a dangerous part of town, Spiral Zetsu spoke. Spiral Zetsu then began to walk up the path. Naruto followed behind as heavy rain pursued. The walk was silent, as Naruto's heart throbbed every step for an unknown reason, and his stomach had that nervous knot that wouldn't go away. Naruto had no idea where he was. For Madara had never explained the location of his brother's burial. Naruto didn't really care either. Spiral Zetsu and Naruto finally came upon a huge house. The structure was old and run down. As for it looked like the heavy rain by itself would break down the house any second. Naruto noticed Spiral Zetsu making his way to the house. Naruto then called out to him, "Where are you going?" He questioned. "Through the house, there's a nice lady there that will lead us to Madara's brother." Spiral Zetsu replied as he turned to Naruto. Naruto shrugged his head and followed Spiral Zetsu to in front of the house. Spiral Zetsu raised his palm with hesitation, but then knocked on the front slide door. Almost immediately, the door slid open to reveal a short, old, frail woman. "Ooh, you must be Madara's protege." She spoke with a grandmotherly grin. How did you know that?" Naruto asked. Spiral Zetsu turned to Naruto and spoke. "Don't question her wisdom, Naruto, just go with it." Naruto raised an eyebrow and then nodded to Spiral Zetsu. "Oh, come in, it must be chilling out there." The old lady spoke, backing up, allowing Naruto and Spiral Zetsu inside. Naruto followed behind Spiral Zetsu inside of the old house. Naruto didn't dare say a word, nor did Spiral Zetsu. Naruto for some reason felt like if he spoke, the house would feel more hostile than it already does. The house inside was colder than outside, and there was very little light. Spiral Zetsu broke the silence by saying, "Why is it so dark in here, miss?" The lady's shape began to change in the shadows. But her physical appearance was still unseen. She began to grow and become slimmer, and then when she spoke her voice changed. I thought Madara was bluffing when he said he was going to take his own brother's eye. Again. Quote, Miss Spiral Zetsu questioned. You demons are going to die for punishment of even thinking of such a sinful thing. No one shall touch his eye but me. October 10th in Konohagakure was a special day for all for the last few years, a day people can celebrate and be loving to make up for hatred the day was originally a target of. Of course people forgot the nine-tailed fox attack and their lost loved ones, but the third Hokage shifted the blame of that towards their hidden enemies. Ino loathed the idea of it all, just seeing the villagers act this way all of a sudden made her sick. Had witnessed the hatred that comes from this day firsthand, all directed at a little boy. But not just any boy, it was someone very close to her, Naruto Uzumaki. Today was his birthday. Naruto's eyes widen in disgust at the creature. He never thought something like this could even be possible. Was it Kekkei Genkai? He thought to himself. No, if Madara had taught him anything, it was to throw beliefs like bloodline out the window. The frail old lady had grown several feet taller, much more hairy too. Although it was way too dark to tell what exactly in the hell the lady became. Judging by its silhouette, Naruto's imagination began to assume it was some werewolf or something. I thought Madara said we wouldn't run into any trouble SZ. Nah. Naruto spoke with some uneasiness as he came up with a new nickname for Spiral Zetsu on the spot. Spiral Zetsu would have raised an eyebrow if he had one. SZ, I like it, kind of a weird place to think of that though. Naruto's mind always seemed to work at a faster pace when presented with danger. The old lady turned monster just stood there looking down at the much shorter two. SZ its voice was deep and uneasy on the ears, almost like it was the voice of the devil himself, but had a hint of approval in it. As an unexpected turn of events, it began to laugh, really hard. Its laughter trembled the house. Naruto was kinda afraid it would cause the whole place to come down on top of them. The wolf lady thing grabbed its gut and bent over while absolutely dying of laughter. Naruto and Spiral Zetsu gave each other a nervous and confused look. Naruto was thinking about using this as an opportunity to strike, but not only did it felt kinda rude and unhonorable, he began to think if he could even beat her. Naruto was much more rational with his approach on enemies, not desperate to rush into any situation where he knew nothing about his enemy, especially if he wasn't even completely sure if it was his enemy or not. Doing this almost cost him his life after all. Not to mention something about this mysterious creature came off as much more powerful than just a watchdog. Naruto and Spiral Zetsu began to follow with her laughter with very awkward and forced laughter. But as soon as their laughter joined hers, the old lady immediately stopped laughing and looked dead center at them both. Which also caused the pair to stop laughing as well. It was almost impressive how she could halt laughter at will like that. Naruto and Spiral Zetsu both knew well that once you get into a good laughing session like that, it's almost impossible to stop. This also gave Naruto the hint that the thing in front of them had very strong will, another defining characteristic of a strong opponent. After a long awkward silence where both were unsure what exactly was happening, the two could have sworn a grin appeared on the face of the thing, though it was hard to tell through the darkness. She then stepped aside and said, "If the old geezer truly believes you're worthy then go ahead, his brother is just down that way, you won't miss it. But you've been warned, the eye is not just for anybody." Spiral Zetsu and Naruto quickly walked past the beast and continued down the dark hall. As Naruto walked past the lady, he felt a piercing chill in his body from that direction. She was definitely not someone to mess with. The chill then shifted to his back and lower neck. As he continued walking away from her direction, it almost felt like she was right behind him breathing down his neck. But Naruto didn't feel like looking behind him to check. Spiral Zetsu chuckled nervously as they continued down the hall. "Miss always plays pranks on me and brother, she's quite funny huh Naruto?" Naruto did not find her funny. The end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.